Hello, my name is Keshwani. That's Keshwani, Keshwani. We are here because we want to prepare for SAT. We have been solving SAT math problems out of this book here, the official SAT study guide. If you do not own this book already, purchase one immediately. You're going to need it. The problem that we are about to solve is the one that you will find on page number 584. Please turn to it, page 584. Today is our lesson number 48. Problem number 11 is what we are looking at. We are told that the picture is not drawn to scale. That's their way of saying picture is not drawn to scale. Is their way of saying what you see rather, is not what you're getting. In other words, it's their way of saying don't stare at the bloody picture. If you look at the picture, it's going to mislead you. That's their way of saying that. If you look at the picture, it will mislead you. So don't look at it. It's not drawn to scale. Don't pay attention to how it is drawn. Pay attention to what is being said. We are told here that x is more than 90. In this picture, we are told that x is more than 90. So what we're going to do is, we are told in the picture above, L is perpendicular to N. L is perpendicular to N. So here is our L, here is our N, and they have to be perpendicular. This part we are told. But then they tell us that x is more than 90. So I'm going to redraw our picture in such a way that it brings out the fact that x is more than 90. And when you want to do that, exaggerate the bloody hell out of it. Do you understand? Don't be shy. Don't be shy. There you go. There is your x. And that's more than 90. If x is more than 90, then obviously y here would have to be less than 90. It's just common sense because they have to add up to 180. This is a straight line. This is a straight line. And a straight line has to add up to 180, which means x plus y is 180. And if x is more than 90, if it's a 90 plus, the y would have to be something less than 90. That's the only way that two numbers are going to add up to 180. They cannot be both more than 90, obviously. And they cannot be both less than 90. They cannot be both less than 90 because they're not going to add up to 180. So one of those two numbers is more than 90. The other one, by definition, would have to be less than 90 because they have to add up to 180. That's one way of looking at it. Another way of looking at it is this picture right here. As you can see clearly, if x is more than 90, the y turns out to be a very small angle. And that's it. That was number 11. Let's take a look at number 12. In the 12, we are told that in the xy plane, the line, we are told here, this line right here, 5x minus 10, crosses x-axis at the point with coordinates a and b. What's the value of a? Oh, for crying out loud. It crosses x-axis. The question simply is, where does it cross x-axis? The question here is, where does it cross x-axis? So it doesn't matter how the line is. So I'm not going to worry about how I'm plotting a line. We do know that it has a positive slope, so I'm not going to be so sloppy as to draw a negatively sloped line. I am going to draw a positively sloped line here, but don't worry about what happens here. What does it mean when the line crosses x-axis? When the line crosses x-axis, that's where y is 0. The y coordinate of that point is 0 because it's crossing x-axis. Similarly, when the line crosses y-axis, x coordinate is 0. But we are not interested in that. We are interested in this part. Where does it cross x-axis? It crosses x-axis where y equals 0. So let's put it in here. Let's set this equal to 0. 0 equals 5x minus 10, and we figure out what x must be. Bring the 10 to the other side, and we find that 5x equals 10, and therefore x equals 2. X equals 2. So apparently I did not plot it this way. It is positively sloped, but that's not x equals 2. Here I'm showing it as a negative coordinate, so it's not here somewhere. It crosses x-axis right here somewhere. So here x equals 2 and y equals 0. That's it. Where does it cross x-axis? In other words, they're asking us what's the value of A. We just found it. This is our A and this is our B. B is the y coordinate, which is 0 because it's crossing x-axis, and the x coordinate is 2, which is the value of A. A equals 2. Let's do the next one, shall we? Let's do the next one. Now, if you're curious, where does it cross the y-axis? Can you give me the coordinates of this point? Let's call this point A. So this is our point A. Can you give me the coordinates of point B? The problem is not asking for it. The question is not asking for it, but we're just going to do it anyway. It crosses point B. In other words, it crosses y-axis. It crosses y-axis. Where does it cross y-axis? This is the second question we're doing. It's not in the book. It crosses y-axis when x is equal to 0. Right here, x coordinate is 0. And that will be, so we substitute here. So our equation is y equals 5x minus 10. And if you substitute 0 for x, 5 times 0 is 0, and y becomes negative 10, as you can clearly see here. So the coordinates of B are, coordinates of this guy here. This one was 2, 0. Coordinates of B are going to be, the x is 0, and y is negative 10. Even though the problem actually does not ask for it. Which is why the negative 10 is there. Negative 10, answer choice A, is for those people who cannot tell the difference between their x-intercept and y-intercept. They ask, in the original question, when they're asking us what's the value of A, they're saying what's the value of A when it crosses x-axis. When it crosses x-axis, is this point right here. That's called the x-intercept. When the line crosses y-axis, this is called the y-intercept. At the y-intercept, the x-coordinate of the point is 0, and at x-intercept, the y-coordinate is 0. Right here, you see? At the x-intercept, the y-coordinate is 0, and at the y-intercept, x-coordinate is 0. That's where people get sometimes confused. Which is why negative 10 is there for those people who cannot tell the difference. Number 13, shall we? Number 13. Enough of this. In number 13, we are given a very elaborate chart here. Let's see. For different towns. And we are told that these are noon temperatures. What are we supposed to do with it? The table above shows the noon temperature for 7 cities designated A through G. Alright. If the median noon temperature of these cities is 40, then the noon temperature for D could be any of the following except. Where is D? Ah, there you go. Since we are talking about median, what's the definition of median? Median is the middle number in the series after the numbers have been arranged either in the ascending order or descending order. If somebody asks you next time what's the median, that is the complete definition. Don't just say it's the middle number. It is the middle number after all the numbers in the series have been arranged either in the ascending order or descending order, either in increasing order or in the decreasing order. It doesn't matter. We're going to arrange them in increasing order, okay? So what's the highest temperature that we see there? The highest temperature that we see there is 68. That's the city E rather. 68 is E. The next height I see there is 50, which is A. Then we see 44, which is F. And since there are 7 cities, this is our median. Because in a scenario of 7 numbers, the median is the middle number, which means 3 of them has to be above it and 3 of them have to be below it. So that's the spot for median. We're gonna leave it alone for the time being. We're gonna leave it alone for the time being. And then we have how many do we have here? That's right. So we have 68, 50, 44. What's going to be the next one? Then we have 40. Then we have 33 and 27. Now here's the tricky part. Okay, listen carefully. The tricky part, the question here is, they're telling us if the median noon temperature of this city is 40. So here, the spot that I've opened here, we have to pick this 40 up and move it here, because we are told that that is the median. if that's the median, okay, well, listen carefully, that's 40, that's 40 was G, and this is 33 is B, and this is C. So now this open spot that you see there, this is where T has to go. This is where T has to go. This is where T must go, which is our town D. What could be the value of T? The question here is not what could be the value of T. The question here is what cannot be the value of T. Well, T, whatever the hell it is, has to be less than 40. It must be less than 40 because we are told that 40 sits in the middle. We are told that 40 sits in the middle. If 40 sits in the middle, if 40 is the median, 40 is sitting in the middle, 3 temperatures have to be above 40, 3 temperatures have to be below 40. 40 is smack in the middle, which means if among the 5 answer choices we find something that is more than 40, that's the temperature that is impossible. And that's 42. That's 42. D cannot be 42. D can be 40. It is possible. It is possible for D to be 40. It's quite alright to have two 40s, but it cannot be 42. D cannot be 42. D has to be less than or equal to 40. And therefore the answer is E. It cannot be 42 because 42 is above 40. 40 has to go in the middle. If D were 42, if D were, it's hypothetical, if D were 42, then D would have been the median. Then 42 would have been the median, and this 40 would have come down. But we are told that the median is 40. So therefore it cannot be 42. Number 14. That's it, we're done with this one. Number 14. And number 14, we are given a picture here. I'm going to reproduce it. We are told that this is 6, this is 6, this is 6, this is the right angle, this is the right angle, this is 30, and this is 30. All of these are very important bits of information. Do you understand? And the question simply is, what is the perimeter of this picture? Well, let's see what happens here. Let's see what happens, okay? Pay very close attention so that you can follow. What's the perimeter of this picture? This is a tricky one. This is a tricky one. You'll find out in a second why. Let's draw a dotted line here. We are told that this angle is 30. If that angle is 30, what do you suppose this angle is? Because of the fact that all of this has to be 90 degrees, if this small one is 30, this has to be 60. Similarly, if this angle is 30, then this angle here has to be 60. Again, because of the fact that this is the corner of a... I shouldn't mess around like that because now it looks ugly. I didn't mean to say now it looks ugly. What I meant to say is that now it looks atrocious because it wasn't pretty to begin with. I did not do a very good job drawing it. It wasn't pretty to begin with. Now before it began to look atrocious. So that's it. This is 60, this is 60. Keep listening. If this is 60 and if this is 60, okay, this is where the tricky part comes in. If this is 60 degrees and this is 60 degrees, what do we know about the sum of the angles in a triangle? Sum of the angles in any triangle is 180. Therefore, if this is 60 degrees and this is 60 degrees, then this must also be a 60 degree. Are you still with me? Which means it turns out that the triangle, let's give it a name here so we can talk about it. Let's call it A, B, C. It turns out that the triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle. You would think that the guy who teaches math would know how to spell equilateral, but then you would be wrong. Therefore, since it's an equilateral triangle, and we are told that this distance from here to here is 6, and since this is a square, we are told there what's the parameter of the picture above. And how do we know it's a square? Because of the fact that this is 90 degrees. this is sitting in 90 degrees, this is sitting in 90 degrees, that means this comes down straight. It's sitting, they're all sitting in 90 degrees. These are all 90 degrees. And now that we know that this distance on the top is 6, we're getting very close to it. We're getting done. If this distance on the top is 6, which means A to C must be 6. A to C must be 6. Triangle ABC is an equilateral triangle, and since now that we know, since A to C equals 6, this upside down dotted means since. Since not as in time, not since 6 o'clock, but since as in logic. Since A to C is 6, because this part is 6, since A to C is 6, and A, B, C we just found out is an equilateral triangle, therefore A to B is 6 and B to C is 6. This thing means therefore. That's it, we're done. So we just found out that this side is, this is given to us, this is 6, this is 6, this is 6. We just found out that B to C is 6, and we just found out that A to B is 6. Therefore, the perimeter equals AB plus, not AB, I shouldn't write because we don't have the name of all the vertices here. The perimeter simply equals 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. 5 times 6 or 30. That's it. The perimeter is 30. That's all it is. That's all there is. I'm going to do it one more time if you like, without making such a big mess here. Let's do it one more time, and this time I'm just going to do it fast, okay? I'm not going to actually erase this part. Let's do it at the bottom here. Here's what's going on. We are told that this is a right angle, we are told that this is a right angle, this is 6, this is 6, and this is 6. Okay, we're going to do it very quickly and see what happens. We are told that this is 30 degrees. If this is 30 degrees, the inside has to be 60 degrees. Again, this is 30 degrees, therefore the inside angle has to be 60 degrees. If this is 60 degrees and this is 60 degrees, then the top has to be 60 degrees. Which means all of these three sides are equal to each other. But we know how much A to C is. We know how much A to C is because A to C is the same distance as the distance from the top, which is 6. So A to C is 6, which means A to B must be 6, which means, and B to C must be 6. Therefore, the perimeter of the picture that is given to us are these 5 6's. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Because of course, the bottom part is not part of the perimeter. This is not part of the perimeter. That's it. It's 6 times 5. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Bye now.